Hello my friends, David Kessler here, and welcome back to the studio for part 2 of our multi-part series on my abstract painting process. Right, in the first video we reviewed the color combination we're going to use, and we talked a little bit about laying the groundwork, I should say, for this painting. And to review, what we're going to be working with is a tetradic color combination. And a tetrad is simply two sets of complementary colors. So in this case, I'm going to be using blue and violet, and yellow and orange. Right? So violet and yellow and blue and orange are the two sets of complementary colors. Now, depending on what kind of a color wheel you have, it's going to be, the tetrad is always going to be shown as either a rectangle or a square. Right, in the case of this color wheel, it's a rectangle. The points of the rectangle show the four colors that we're going to be using. Two sets of complementary colors. So what I always like to do, because one complementary color is always cool and one is always warm, I always like to play the cools against the warm. That's the game for me. So in this case, what we're going to try to do is have our violet be our dominant color, blue be the non-dominant color, meaning it takes up the second most surface area. And then the two accent colors, I'm going to use the warm colors as the accent colors because I know they're going to really pop against the cool. And I may use these in equal measure, I may not use them in equal measure, but somehow they'll be combined together to make the centers of interest, or maybe they'll be used separately for separate centers of interest. I don't know that until I get into the painting a little bit. Okay? That lays the groundwork for the colors that we're going to be using, or the sort of the intent for the color use in the painting. Now we're going to go to the palette over here. We're going to look at all the colors that we're going to be using. We're going to mix the colors that we need to, where we need to, for the painting. All right, so let's hit the palette. Okay, let's take a look at the colors that we're going to be using here on the palette. It's a lot of colors, which, looks even to me a little bit daunting and maybe even overwhelming, but anyway, let's go through it. So I'm using my cool yellow, which I use benzimidazolone yellow. By the way, these are all golden heavy body acrylic paint, right? So benzimidazolone yellow is my cool yellow. My warm yellow is diarylide yellow. I have yellow ochre, burnt sienna, pyrrole orange, medium magenta, quinacridone magenta, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, cerulean blue, manganese blue, light violet, and dioxazine purple, and titanium white. Okay? And I'm not sure how much mixing, to be honest, that we're going to do here. I don't think I'm going to neutralize the colors to begin with. I think I will have some areas of the painting that may use neutralized colors, but I may go in and mix those a little bit later. So I'm not sure really what I'm going to do, and that yellow by itself is probably going to be too bright for our purposes, but I will mix a little bit of white in here, mix the two yellows together, make a nice brilliant yellow color for us. Yellow ochre, I'm not sure how I'll use that. I'll probably mix that with some of the violet. My intent would be I probably will mix some of that with some of the violet to neutralize them a bit. I'll add a little white now just to remind me I can use some other values of that color. Same for the burnt sienna. I'm probably going to mostly use the burnt sienna as opposed to a brighter orange for this painting, but I'm not positive about that. I try to keep this process fairly fluid, and things will change from now till later on. Now I'm going to use a medium magenta as the cool red for making a violet. So let's just use some of our cobalt blue and our medium magenta. We'll pull those together and make a violet out of this. Probably have a little too much blue there. It's all right. So it makes it beautiful. Look at that violet. Isn't that rich and gorgeous? Oh my gosh. That is fantastic. And if we want a little bit more red, we can make it redder. We can add white, of course, to make it a little bit lighter in value. Right, good stuff. So quinacridone magenta, same thing. We're going to make some violet with this. I'm going to use ultramarine blue and the quinacridone magenta. This is going to make your best violet. If you ever want to know how to make the best violet, your cool red, and I prefer quinacridone magenta, and ultramarine blue really is going to be your best bet. I think I'm going to use a good amount of this, so I'll mix this up. It's pretty heavy. Now, you know, if you have trouble seeing that color because it's dark, take the corner here, add a little red. Now add a little white to it. So that's a red violet, and there's nothing wrong with the red violet. Uh-oh, I'm getting white mixed in with it, which is not good, but it'll be all right. Okay, there we go. Our violet mixed up, a couple of different violets. All right, now cobalt blue. I don't know if I'll use that by itself or not, maybe. I'm gonna add just a little bit of orange to it to knock that intensity back a little. Just a little bit, maybe a little bit more. There we go. Beautiful, okay. Cerulean blue, probably gonna use that on its own. Maybe a little white added to it. Like I say, I'm not doing a whole lot of mixing here. I may do some more later, but manganese blue, again, I want to add some white to that. Woo, baby, look at that. Isn't that something? That is gorgeous. Wow. Really gorgeous. Man. That really comes alive. You can see the tinting strength is phenomenal for that. Light violet there again. I'll add a little white. And I'll tell you over here, let me get some of this yellow ochre and mix with it. And then add some white. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. I might actually want to do another pile of this blue. Add a little burnt sienna to it. Cerulean blue, burnt sienna, a little bit of white for some lighter value areas. Yeah, that's nice. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. Maybe I need extra amounts of white here. Maybe even some more yellow ochre. Oh, that's beautiful. Ooh, look at that. Nice. Of course, this dioxazine purple I'm going to use predominantly for my darkest, richest value in the painting. Some of it I may even want to add just a little bit of this cool red to red it up a little bit, just for fun. Why not? While we're mixing some color. Okay, I believe that's going to do us for the palette. Well, I hope that was helpful for you to see the colors that we're going to be using and see the mixes and how they relate to the intent of the painting. Right? I hope it was helpful. I hope it was clear enough for you, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.